Joanna. So we're doing earrings today. It's a really, really fun, simple class. These earrings that I'm wearing are just one of my favorites. And all it is a head pin, a little black crystal, a rondelle, a larger red crystal, a rondelle, and a black crystal. And they're just elegant and timeless. I like that I can wear them with almost anything because the red is so dark that if I can put this back in right away, there it goes. They're just something you can wear with anything. Okay, so we're going to get started. I have laid out here a bunch of different components. I didn't want to have to dig through all my bins the whole class because there's a lot of bins that these pieces came out of. The first one we're going to do is just a basic stick earring. So let me switch my camera. It may take me a moment because it was acting weird a moment ago. And it's acting weird again. Just a moment. It's being very touchy right now. I don't need to switch from here. We're good. All right, so I'm going to go through the tools that I'm using today.
I can't see your face.
Nope, you're just going to see my hands. That's why I use this camera, so it's centered on my hands more. Okay, so the tools I'm going to use today, I have 2 pair of flat nose pliers. You really, for this, would only need 1 pair, but I like to have 2 pair. Just as a chainmail person, I like to have my 2 pair. All right, now you'll need a round nose pair, and these just come to a little bit of a point. These are not needle nose where they're really tiny points. They're just a round nose pair. I always, oops, sorry, that was under the cord. I always have on hand my bent nose pliers just in case I get into a tricky spot and I need to get really in there and move something around. But they're sort of a secondary pair. You don't have to have a bent nose pair. Now, you haven't seen me do this before, but when we wrap a loop and we want to tuck in that end little bit, you can use your crimping pliers. And you see how it has the little holes? If you put that around where you've woven your wire around and pinch it, it generally pushes that little end of wire in. Okay, I'm just going to talk about this for a moment. This is Thursday's class, the hand flower chainmail piece. On Thursday, I'll teach how to make the ring part and this, how to make the bracelet, and then I'll teach you how to do a few rows, and then you're on your own to finish. It's nothing to finish once you know how to do them. Okay, so I'm going to take this off so I can work better because it's a little loose on my wrist right now. I had to put it on myself. And maybe if I can get it back off. There we go. I'm just going to set this aside. I have worn it though during classes when it's tightly fitted, and it's lovely. All right, so for earrings, the main things that we need are head pins, and I'm just going to bring it over. You can see that it has a flat piece at the bottom. Okay, that's a head pin. And then I have, those are my head pins. I don't think I have out any eye pins today because we're not doing that type. But an eye pin has a little loop at the bottom instead of the head. The third part would be ball pins, and you can get beautiful ball pins in all different styles. So you can get them with just a simple silver ball, or you can get them with a decorative piece on the bottom, and they're just lovely to make earrings with because it saves you a bottom bead. So the first one we're going to work on is just something really simple. I'm going to bring it out here. So I've already loaded the one, and all I've done is I take a small silver ring or bead just to hold it, because a lot of times the head pin is not big enough to hold your beads. So you want to put a little crystal or a little bead on the bottom. You can use seed beads if you have them. I use a lot of the 4mm crystals for that piece, but this is just a little spacer bead that I have. And it's just so, because they have a really tiny hole, so they won't fall past that end of the head pin. And then I put on a rondelle, and this is just a multicolored pretty one. And then an Amazonite bead stone, another rondelle, another Amazonite, and another rondelle. And at the top, I do want one of those little beads. So I'm just gonna put this on. There we go. So when you're doing this, you want to take your flat nose pliers or your round nose, doesn't matter at this point. Place it so it's just snug up to your top bead and push this over straight across, okay? Now you'll see that I have this little wee bit, let's get that focused, this little wee bit there between the last bead and the top of my wire. This is where I want to put my pliers, my round nose pliers, okay? I try to have them about 1/8 of an inch in on my pliers. And then all I'm doing is using this thumb, and I'm rolling up, over, and down, okay? So it forms like a P shape. Just gonna pull this over so I have a darker, so it goes, no, that's not working. Okay, but you can see the P shape. That way. Okay, so then we put our pliers back in the same spot, about 1/8 of an inch in on our pliers. And what we're gonna do is bring that over so it's crossing. And then we're gonna wrap one. And if the wire is too hard for your hands, you can always grab your flat nose pliers, grab this by the end, and wrap, okay? So now we have this lovely little circle.
Lori, can you lower your hands, because when you were doing that, I couldn't see what you're doing. You were too high.
Oh, okay. Sorry, we're gonna do it a few times, so I'll try and, but tell me right away if I go out of screen. Okay, so I've wrapped it around, and I'm gonna just trim off this last little bit. I have my cutter way over here so I don't mistake it for my pliers. Now, this is a Japanese style cutter, so it's a flush cutter. One side, it's almost a V shape. The other side, it's flush. You want to get the flush side in as close to the end of your wire as you can, holding the end of your wire with your fingertip so it doesn't fly everywhere. And that's your piece. Now, I want to straighten this out a tiny bit. So that's the piece that we have so far. I'm going to do it again. I have everything laid out here. So it starts with the tiny little bead, and I know it's hard to see because my hands, and then a rondelle, and aventurine. You can use crystals, beads, you can use stones, pearls. I had my pearls out. I was going to show you a special drop earring, but unfortunately, I couldn't get my head pins that I have here through it. They're really too thick for the pearl. Pearls are meant for stringing, for thin wire, and I couldn't get it to work. So, and a little trick, double check that they're the same. Okay, so you can see they look a little different, but they are the same. Yeah, they really look different on camera. I don't know why. Let's switch sides. Oh, it's the lighting. Yeah, these ones look like they have a lot more color in the rondelles, but when you switch sides, this one does. Okay, so
I have a question.
Yes.
I've made many earrings in my life, but I hardly ever use rondelles. Why are you particularly using so many rondelles? 1, 2, 3 in this particular pair. I usually think of them as being on a bracelet.
I just love the look of them. I think they just add a real class and style to the piece. It's just this is my design. I'm teaching you how to make them. And then you go and you make whatever you want with the things that you have. A lot of people don't have rondelles at home, and that's fine. You don't need rondelles.
100%, but I haven't seen rondelles being used in earrings for a long time.
I like them personally. I think they give it a real flair. I have different ones set out here, so you'll see different ways of doing earrings as well. So I bent it over, same as the other one. Oh, okay.
Make sure you lower your hands because
yeah, I'm trying. Okay, so now you put this in 1/8 of an inch in and roll it over and down. Okay, and we have that P shape. Then you place it back in and still 1/8 of an inch in, and we're going to cross it. So it's going to cross over the other one. I'm going to switch hands so you can see better. And I'm just rolling it around. I'm trying to see the camera angle and my hands. So there we go. And I just want to use that little bit of space that I had there from where I bent the wire. Sorry, trying to grab that. Okay, and then I'm going to trim it. So again, the cutter, you get the flush side in as close as you can to that wire without cutting anything else. And I'm just having a hard time. And now I have 2 of them. So I always like to take my flat nose pliers afterwards and just take that circle and make it really straight and tall. So now to put them on the ear wires, I just have a pile of ear wires here. Let me grab one. You'll see that the wire wraps around from here, up, over, down, and forms a loop here. So all you do is you take your pliers, like so, and you pivot it a tiny bit. I just have to get them in the right position. These are quite strong ones, just to open it. So you can see it's just shifted to the side. And then you slide your earring on there. And if you're having a hard time sliding it on that part, yeah, it's not open enough. These ones are really, really strong ear wires, which I love.
Can you please lower your hands because we can't see what you're doing?
Yeah, I'm just trying to get this open and then I will be back to you seeing everything. Okay, so now that's open. If you have a hard time putting it on this way onto the loop, all you have to do is go from the back, put it on, bring it over the ear wire. Whoops, I went right off, but down. You get the idea. So you hang it on there and then you close up that loop again. So in order for me to close that loop, I do have to have it closer to me just for the angle of it. You get that on there. This one is really giving me a hard time. It's not opening fully. There, we've got a lot of, I don't like opening it more than I necessarily have to because you're weakening your wire. But this one is being really tough. Right, and then you grab that loop again and you close it. Now, once you've closed it, reach around, see if you can fit your fingernail in between there. If you can, you need to close it better. But there's the first one. And I'm just going to string on the second one on another ear wire. We're going to go through a few different things. I have one new style to give you information about. I wanted the pearls to do it with, but that's not happening today. Okay, so I'm just going to position my pliers and bring it back. You just pivot that open. You can see it's open there now. And you slide your piece on. And you close that little loop again, which I do have to hold my finger there to hold it in place. There we go. And you just close your loop. And again, feel it, make sure that it's closed. That one isn't fully, so I'm just gonna push it there. And there we go. So there's one pair already done. Okay. Now the next one that I want to show you, I have these lovely little connectors. So I've never opened them. but we're going to use the connectors and another bead. So I got my tools moved back around, and unfortunately my pliers, my flat nose and my cutter are the same color and same style, so I like to keep my cutter separate just so I don't have any accidents when I'm finishing off a pair. All right, so with these, we want to put this end directly on the ear wire. So I'm going to start with that. These all get tangled up in my bin, so I'm trying to grab just one. Always work your pliers with your dominant hand. Whatever is the technical part of what you're doing, use your dominant hand. Yeah, that's at the back. I see. Some of these are oriented so the laser cut is at the back of the piece and some are at the front. So that's why I was having a hard time with the other ear wire. And the second one was so much easier. All right. So I'm just opening it up. And again, it's really tough wire. This is what you want. You want it to be really strong, but not so strong that you can't work it. So I'm going to try and work this on here. This is a little thicker, so I'm just going to open it some more. Now, if you have any questions along the way, please feel free to ask them, and I will try and help you.
I would be saying, if I was trying to open that, I would have both pliers working to hold the piece and the one to be able to turn it, because it seems like that is a very tough wire.
My hands are quite strong. I can hold it very tight. Comes from working with metal, but that one is not working well. All right, so all right, just gonna pivot it out. There we go. And slide this onto here. There. Yeah, I think I had a nasty one there. I buy them in bulk, so I buy them by the 1,000. Okay, so that's our first part. Now I picked out these lovely little jadeite, adventurine, no, what's the jadeite, I guess they are. And I just thought the color worked really well with this other green. They sort of complement one another. So what I want to do, I'm not going to do a wrapped loop this time. I'm going to do a simple loop. So all I do is I bend it across my thumbnail. I don't need that little bit of space. Okay, and then I take my round nose pliers and same type of thing, 1/8 of an inch in. And I like to mark my pliers. My pliers are already marked by a ridge, but you can use a Sharpie. Just roll it around. Now we take our cutter, and you can see here at the top of the P, so just, we want to make that P into a question mark. So we want to cut it just over here. So let me get my pliers in place and then I will show you. So I do it just off of center, like so. And then I come back in, I put my pliers in to that loop and I finish the loop off, okay? And then you do the same thing you do with the ear wires. You open that up slightly. And we're going to slide it on the other end of this connector piece that we have. And again, this will spin. Try and get your thumb on the bottom of your pin because the pin sort of spins around in the stone. But if you can hold it with your thumb at the bottom, it can't spin. And then close it up. I like to...
A lot of the spinning and all that takes practice because I know exactly what you're talking about. Used to spin, it takes practice.
Yeah. So there's the next pair, or the next one of the pair. I like the definition of the two colors, the two shades. This is more of a greenish blue, and this is a dark green. But they just seem to speak to me.
I think that the one at the bottom is not going to hang flat. You need to have 2 rings on it because it's not going to hang flat.
Actually, it still spins on the wire, so it does.
It does?
Yeah.
Okay. Does it hang flat? Because I've experienced that they don't hang. Okay. Is it hanging flat? Very good.
Okay, so I'm going to repeat that one. We'll do the other step around though. I'm going to put the piece of jadeite on. And again, we just bend it over our fingernail, thumbnail, so it's straight like so. And then we take our round nose pliers and 1/8 of an inch in on our pliers. Mark it. Oh, I'm sorry, I can't read while it's going. Yeah, sorry, I can't catch that. It's way too small on my screen. All right, so I have my loop and I want to trim it. So I trim it just to the side of center. Now, a lot of people like to trim it before they turn it. I just don't like that because if I've trimmed it a tiny little bit short, then it won't curve. All right, so I like to trim it after I've got the initial curve on. Finish your curve so it's closed. Just slide your nail around. Make sure you can't get a nail through there. And then open it up. Oops, wrong side. And again, just put your thumb on the bottom. Straighten that out. Open it up like so. Slide it through this. This is the tricky part. It's just getting it not to spin. And you know, it just takes practice. You don't have to worry. So slide it on there. You may have to open it. You know, sometimes when I'm trimming wire, I trim like a tiny little bit at a time, just so I don't trim too much. Same thing when I'm opening rings. I like to have them as little open as possible when I'm working. Just the right amount. And if I have to adjust it a little bit, takes 2 more seconds. It's not a big deal. All right, so I'm just dropping that on there. And then again, I have to have my finger in the way because I have to balance it so it doesn't spin.
Please lower your hands. We can't see what you're doing.
Okay, and I'm just going to, sorry, I have to have it over here so I can grab it. And then I'll bring my hands back. Why is it not going? There it is. Come on, baby. It does help to talk to your wire, as I always say. All right, so then once you grab it, just pull it back up, feel it, make sure that you can't slide a nail in. Okay, and then we're just putting this one on an ear wire again. So I'm gonna grab my ear wire, and this one opens on that side. And that's all you do is you just pivot it open, okay? See, this one didn't open, but let's just pull it back into place. Oops, come on. There we go. All right, now it's open. Slide this on, reach back up and close it. Okay, and I just want to straighten that wire out. There we go. And there's our second pair. Where's the first one? There it is. There's our second pair. Okay, this one's just twisted a little bit. There we go. Okay, so adding the little dangle at the bottom of the piece gives it a little more life. You'll see these stick ones, they're very solid. They don't move a lot. These, if you add, if I had added an eye pin to this one, then I could hang something else from here too. So I could have a nice long dangle. Oh, my ear wire came off. I didn't feel it close enough. There we go. So if you add eye pins, you can add extra pieces to it. Okay, that's that one. Now, I wanted to just show you these. And these are pieces that you can buy. And they have a lovely filigree and little holes. So you can put beaded pieces, you can hang chain from it. I like to hang chain in swoops from, from this end to this end, and then crystals in the center, just different things. You can get them in all different shapes and colors. This one's quite a pretty one. It's almost like a peacock feather. Okay, and this is how I do it. I just make loops. And this one I did spacer daisies on either side of the crystal. I don't like just plain stones or crystals as much as having a little bit of metal around it. It just gives it, I think it allows it to shine more. Okay, and here's one in a darker tone. You can get these as simple or as intricate as you like. They take a little bit longer to do up, so I'm not doing them today. I did this one, another class, and it took me forever to get those two on there because those holes are so tiny. But I wanted to show you what you can do by just buying a little piece and stringing chain and ear wire from it, or little stones from it. Okay, so I have some really cute little spirally things. These twist, they go around. So we're going to use these and some glass beads. And I had my my head pins here, my longer ones. Let me just see where they went. Okay, I may have to go back to those. I'll get more head pins out of the case. We'll do, oh goodness, I had a whole handful of earrings I wanted to show you. Just give me one moment. You know I don't normally leave camera, but sorry about that. Okay, so I had these at my coffee table and I forgot them over there. So these are some of the earrings that we've done in previous classes. This one is just a little wee section of Byzantine chainmail and then a spike. It's just a really trendy, fun earring. Once you learn how to do the Byzantine weave, it's something that you can whip together so quickly and easily, and it's a fun piece to wear. I also have the same earring with pearls dropping from it, stick pearls and round pearls. Classic look. You can put crystals for a more classic look. I kind of like the spikies. Another one, and this is where making earrings, oops, sorry, my arm's right across there. This is where making earrings is so much fun for you. This necklace has a little dangle on the end. I bought these. These are little charms. And you can buy them for just $2 or $3 for $1, a couple of dollars each, whatever. Very inexpensive. Add it to an ear wire, and you have a really lovely pair of earrings in 2 minutes. Okay, if you see charms that you really like and they're not too heavy, make yourself a pair of earrings. Okay, this is the other one for it. So these are a favorite pair because they match my necklace that I love so much. These are much more intricate earrings. Let me just find the top of them. There we go. And I did these in a separate class. But this frame that I used to make the long dangly shoulder duster, you could just put that frame on and it would make a lovely pair of earrings. So this one I've used added chain and lots of stones. You can make your earrings any way you like, but these are just a favorite pair of mine. I wear them all the time now. Okay.
I would say those earrings are too long for me.
They're too long for most people, but I can get away with it. Let's see.
Are they quite heavy, Lori?
No, they're not. Even though the components are stainless steel and stone, they're not that heavy. I think just because they're little stones. Like I have rose quartz and I'm trying to remember what the other ones are. I bought a bag of mixed ones from Stones and Findings, and they just sort of mixed up pearls and everything, and they're lovely little sets of stones, but they're not as heavy as I was thinking they might be. Okay, so now I'm just trying to keep an eye on the time because I can't see it here on my computer. If you have, okay, I have a stud earring that I wear all the time. Now, if you know someone or yourself that has to have sterling silver everything, you can make them a lovely gift package. What you do is you take a head pin or a ball pin and you grab a lovely stone. So let me get my stone out. That's my spacers. I cleared everything out of here for Thanksgiving, so I had to run in the bedroom today, or the studio, and get everything out. Okay, I'll need that out again. My glass beads. Of course, the very last one has what I'm looking for. Nope. Okay, I must have passed them. What I want is a nice stone, something unusual. That's my pearls. Unfortunately, I can't use them with this wire. This is the one. All right, so I'm going to go with something like this. A little bigger than what we have been using. And I'm just going to do like a one of, okay? And I will show you what you can do for this person that has allergies to base metals. So you get an inexpensive pair of studs. They do not have to have this loop like I have on these. In fact, you don't want them to have the loop. That's the right way, yeah. So you just want a pair of studs. You want a head pin or a ball pin. And I'm just seeing if that's long enough. Nope, I'm gonna have to grab out the ones that are here. There we go. So you need a 2 or 3 inch head pin. And I'm hoping that it doesn't need a bead because I want it to be just the piece. Okay, so this head pin is a little wonky. Let me just straighten it. My wire straightener is holding up my camera. So, all right. Okay, so all you do, just put it on like so, bend it over, and make your loops. Okay, so I'm going to pour 1/8 of an inch in, roll it over. You know what, I'm gonna give it one wrap. So one wrap around, just so that it's really secure. Okay, and then I'm gonna trim that last little bit off with the flush part towards it. Come on, don't cut anything else. Okay. Now, you take your stud. Oops. All fingers, all thumbs here today, I apologize. And you put this on here, and you can wear those as a pair of earrings. You can have as many pairs as you want with one pair of silver studs. So if it's someone that, you know, doesn't have a lot of money for 20 different pairs of earrings, you can have one pair of studs and 20 different types of stone or crystals or anything. Any of these that we're doing today can be done like this. You just make a loop at the top, and instead of putting it on an ear wire, just slide it on the back of your earring before you put your earring on. Isn't that a great idea for people that have sensitive ears? Just trying to find the backing again.
But will a little bit of that metal affect the ear to the circular part? I don't think it's totally metal free.
You can buy stainless or sterling silver. So yeah. Sterling silver pins are pennies.
I know, but they tarnish.
Well, any silver tarnishes.
Yeah, so what I'm saying, your point of saying putting that silver pin on there does not keep this all the silver away. If it starts to tarnish, people want they feel it if they're that sensitive.
Then just wipe it with a cloth, a tarnish cloth. It's easy.
Does stainless steel bother people that have allergies?
Depends on what their allergies are, but no, normally not. And there's different grades of stainless. You have
Yeah,
to be careful because some
yeah.
stainless has nickel.
You need to buy the jewelry grade stainless steel with nickel
Thank you,
free.
Vera.
You're
I
welcome.
think that's the stuff that's it's usually labeled 304, is it, the jewelry grade?
I have to always look up the numbers. I'm sorry.
I think it's
But yeah.
317.
Yeah, I think you're right, Vera.
The higher number.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
It's not that expensive.
Most
It's
of
just,
the
No.
jewelry
just make sure it's
today
nickel free.
They sell, most of the jewelry today that they sell, it says that it's nickel free.
Yes, but when you're buying components, it doesn't always.
No,
Like
you're
when-
right about that.
When we're buying to make, we don't always have that. I'll put that in my ear after. I can't do it without a mirror. Okay, so what time is it, guys?
I've got about 17 minutes, 18 minutes to 3.
Perfect. Okay, so we can do one more pair and then we can have another chit chat. But this idea of making multiple pairs that you can just switch around, I love it. One of the jewelry stores or jewelry sellers, the Stones and Findings, had it on their website recently, and I just thought it was brilliant.
I think that's a great idea. Thank you very much, Lori.
You're welcome. And I always give credit for where I found the idea. Okay. All right. So we want to do one with the spinners. And again, it's just, all I'm doing, I always use the little wee beads to start with, just so nothing falls. And then I've got my glass beads, the ones I used with the goddess bracelet a couple of weeks ago. There we go. And then my little spinners. And you'll know spinners just, they don't spin like that unless you do it. But you'll notice, like, you know, one day you'll be wearing them this way, one day that way, and they catch different light. And I just think they're fun. And another crystal, because I like that. If you want it smaller, you can just do that, the spinner part. You don't have to do exactly what I'm doing. Bend it over. We're going to do a simple loop. And again, 1/8 of an inch in on your pliers. If your pliers are silver, mark it with a black Sharpie. If your pliers are black, mark it with a bit of whiteout. Okay. You want to have that spot so that you always go to that spot so your loops are always the same size. That's just the tip. So roll it over. And we're going to take that, and I'm going to take my trimmer, my cutter. And again, hold your finger on the end of that wire so it doesn't just fling off. A little bit on the side of the top, and I'll just double check. Yep. Snip. And you have your question mark. I'll turn it so you have a question mark. It's hard to see. It's very bright today on here. Okay. So then I want to finish rounding that circle in. So put your pliers back in the same spot and roll it. Okay, so that you have your finished circle. All right. Open it up a bit. You can either open this piece up or your ear wire. Doesn't matter whichever you're more comfortable with. I think I'm going to open this because those ear wires are hard to open. They're really stiff. So I want to use my flat nose pair, and you just get in there right at the bottom. And this is like a jump ring. Just pivot it. Okay, you don't want to pull it apart. You want to just pivot. And then, like I said, you can go from here on or slide. When you open it, you can slide through the other way. So let me get this in place, and then I'll bring it back to you to close it. Come on. Over here, what I wanted over here. This one's not pivoting, not spinning as much as the other one, just because of the spinner on it. It sort of holds everything together. I'm just going to reopen it. It's not quite open the right way. Sorry, this one's giving me a little hard time. There, that should be perfect. Oh. Someone's calling my husband. Yeah, this one is.
Okay, what time is it?
Okay, so I'm just redoing it and reopening it. It's doing its own thing here.
October 28th.
Keep opening it, but it's not moving the right way. Sorry about the noise. Okay. Oh, I see what's happened. It overlapped itself, and so I'm bending it, and it's not bending the right way. There we go. Now I've got it.
Okay.
My statement is that jewelry making does take a little bit of time.
And it takes patience and good eyesight,
Okay.
which I don't have these days.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, we all have good eyesight.
Okay, so you slide that on there and you have your, pardon me?
You're a young lady, Lori.
47.
But if you feel you need some extra, I have a pair of magnifying glasses that flip over my seeing eyeglasses to help me see really, really close. You can buy
Yeah.
things.
I have magnifiers. I just don't normally need them, but oops. Okay, so that's what you do, and just put it through and close it again. So these are basic ways. I love
Oh yeah. How long before?
just doing, sorry, the charms on an ear wire. You can buy gorgeous, gorgeous charms. Bead Dynasty, if you ever go in there, they're down at Warden and Eglinton area. They have some lovely charms, and they sell them in bags of 2 or 3, depending on the size of the charm. And they're not really heavy. So you can throw on a big charm and not worry about the weight of it. And you've got yourself a pair of earrings. Match it with a necklace, and you've got yourself the whole set. Connectors are a great way of making earrings. Now, a lot of the connectors are a little pricey. These are actually stone. They're not just crystal or anything. They're a stone. So they're cut, polished, formed, everything. So they're a little bit more expensive. But if you're making yourself a beautiful pair of earrings, if you made, I have a pair of blue druzy, I can never say that word, I want to say drury. And the stone itself, the set, cost me about $12 for the set. I threw them on a sterling silver pair of ear wires, and they're stunning. And those in the store would cost probably 10 times that. So let me see if I can, oh, and my camera came right on this time. Okay, so now we can talk face to face again. Any questions, ladies and gentlemen? Go ahead. No? Okay, well, I think we had a lot of discussion during the class, so we're good. But if you have any questions, it doesn't have to be about this class. It can be about any jewelry making. Just let me know. We still have a few minutes so we can chat. Brian, how was your class today?
Oh, pretty
Lori,
good.
I did it.
I actually accomplished something.
Oh, good. During class and not just with the video.
Yeah.
And
Lori, I did
yes.
it.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
that chainmail that we were doing the other day, my rings, the aspect ratio is much too small for them. I
Yeah.
don't know. Actually, here's an example of it. I got this far.
Oh,
with
let me
it,
just switch camera views here.
and you can see how tight that is.
Gallery view. Oh, I can't see you.
No.
Yeah, we have too many people on today. That's wonderful. But yeah,